8 months ago, I couldn't order coffee with anxiety. I'd rehearsed the sentence 10 times in my head. Medium latte, please. Medium latte, please. I'd get to the counter, the barista would say, "Hi, how can I help you today?" And I'd freeze, completely blank, end up pointing at the menu like I couldn't speak. My roommate had to order for me, at a coffee shop. I was 19 years old. Today, I just gave a presentation in front of 50 people, in English. Got compliments on my delivery. I'm writing this script you're hearing right now. 1,500 words, no translator, no grammar checker until the end. What happened in 8 months? Not expensive courses, not living abroad, not some gifted language gene. Just a specific system that took me from broken English to fluent. And today, I'm sharing the exact process. If you're stuck at intermediate, afraid to speak, or feel like you'll never sound natural, this video will show you exactly what to do. Let's get into it. Month 1, I stopped studying English. This sounds crazy, but hear me out. For 2 years before this, I studied English the traditional way. Grammar books, vocabulary flashcards, practice exercises. I could pass tests, I knew all the rules, past perfect continuous, subjunctive mood, phrasal verbs, but I couldn't have a basic conversation. Because here's the problem. Studying about English is not the same as acquiring English. Let me explain the difference. When you study, you learn rules. When someone says, "How are you?" your brain thinks, okay, present simple tense, verb to be, I need to respond with, "I am good." By the time you construct that sentence, the conversation moved on. When you acquire language, you just respond, no thinking. "How are you?" "I'm good. You?" It's automatic, like your native language. So, month 1, I made a radical decision. I stopped all traditional study. No grammar books, no vocabulary lists, no exercises. Instead, I did something called comprehensible input. This is based on research by linguist Stephen Krashen. The idea is simple. You acquire language by understanding messages, not by studying rules. So, here's exactly what I did. I found a TV show I already watched in my native language, Friends. I'd seen every episode 3 times. I rewatched the entire first season in English with English subtitles. Not to study, just to watch, like entertainment. First episode, I understood maybe 40%, but because I knew the story, I could follow along. By episode 10, I understood 60%. By the end of season 1, I understood almost 80% without even reading the subtitles. Here's what happened in my brain. I wasn't memorizing words, I was absorbing patterns. I noticed that people say wanna instead of want to, gonna instead of going to, gotta instead of got to. Nobody taught me this, I just heard it hundreds of times until it became natural. I also started listening to one podcast every morning, the Joe Rogan Experience. I chose Joe Rogan because he talks like a normal person, not formal, not scripted, real conversation. First week, I understood maybe 30%, just caught random words, but I kept listening during breakfast every single day. By week 4, I was understanding full sentences, following the conversation, even laughing at jokes. Month 1 results, I didn't speak much, but my brain was soaking up English like a sponge. I went from understanding 40% of normal speech to 70%. Your action for month 1? Pick one show you already know, watch it entirely in English with English subtitles, and pick one podcast. Listen to the same host every day. Doesn't matter if you don't understand everything, just input. Your brain will figure it out. Month 2, I started copying natives. Okay, so month 1, I filled my brain with input. Month 2, I started preparing for output. But I didn't create my own sentences yet. I copied. Here's what I mean. Whenever I heard a phrase that sounded useful, I wrote it down exactly as I heard it. For example, I heard someone say, "I was wondering if you could help me with something." I didn't analyze the grammar, I didn't break it down, I just copied the whole thing. Then I said it out loud 10 times. "I was wondering if you could help me with something. I was wondering if you could help me with something," until it felt natural in my mouth. Then I used that exact phrase in different contexts. "I was wondering if you could explain this. I was wondering if you could recommend a book. I was wondering if you could send me that file." Same pattern, different situations. This is called chunking. Instead of learning individual words, you learn complete phrases as single units. This is how natives actually speak. We don't construct sentences word by word, we use memorized chunks and combine them. By the end of month 2, I had collected over 100 chunks. Conversation starters. Hey, do you have a minute? I wanted to ask you something. Agreeing. Yeah, that makes sense. I totally see what you mean. Disagreeing politely. I see your point, but I think, I'm not sure I agree because. Buying time. That's a good question. Let me think. Give me a second to process that. Ending conversations. Anyway, I should probably get going. It was great talking to you. I wrote all these in a notebook, reviewed them every morning for 10 minutes. Then I'd try to use at least 3 new chunks that day in real conversations, even if the conversation was just ordering food or asking my roommate a question. Month 2 results, I still wasn't fluent, but my speaking started sounding natural. Native speakers stopped saying huh or what when I spoke. They understood me the first time. Your action for month 2, start a phrase collection. Every day, write down 3 phrases exactly as natives say them. Practice each phrase 10 times out loud. Then use it in a real conversation that day. By the end of the month, you'll have 90 natural phrases. Your speaking will transform. Months 3 and 4, I forced myself to speak every day. This was the hardest part because I was still scared. My chunks sounded good when I practiced alone, but real conversations, terrifying. I'd panic, forget everything, go silent. But I made a rule. Speak English every day, even just 5 minutes. Here's exactly what I did. Week 1, I talked to myself. Sounds crazy, but it works. While making breakfast, I'd narrate everything in English. Okay, now I'm cracking the eggs. Now I'm turning on the stove. While walking to class, I'd describe what I saw. That's a red car. Those people are waiting for the bus. This got me comfortable hearing my own voice speaking English. Week 2, I started using voice messages instead of texts. When my study group had questions, instead of typing, I'd send a voice message. Forced me to speak, but I could re-record if I messed up. Low pressure. Week 3, I joined a language exchange app called Tandem. Found native English speakers learning my language. We'd video call for 30 minutes. 15 minutes I help them, 15 minutes they help me. First call was disaster. I stuttered, said every 3 seconds, forgot basic words. But my partner was patient. We laughed about it. She corrected me gently. By the 4th call, I was actually having conversations. Week 4 through week 8, I joined a free online conversation club called Cambly. Every day, 15-minute conversation with a random native speaker. Sometimes we talked about movies, sometimes politics, sometimes just random stuff. The topics didn't matter, the practice did. Here's what happened during these 2 months. My brain stopped translating. At first, I'd think in my native language, then translate to English. But after hundreds of conversations, I started thinking directly in English. Someone would ask, "What did you do today?" And I'd just answer, no translation step. Also, I stopped caring about mistakes. I'd say something wrong, they'd correct me, I'd say, "Oh, thanks," and move on. Mistakes became learning opportunities instead of embarrassing moments. Month 3 and 4 results, I went from 0 real conversations to speaking English every day. My fluency jumped dramatically. I could express most thoughts without long pauses. Your action for months 3 and 4, speak out loud every day. Week 1, talk to yourself. Week 2, send voice messages. Week 3, find a language partner. Week 4 onward, daily conversation practice. No excuses. Your speaking muscle needs daily exercise. Months 5 and 6, I consumed content I actually cared about. By month 5, I was conversational. I could handle daily interactions, understand fast native speech, sound sophisticated. So I changed my input strategy. Instead of watching random English content, I consumed stuff I genuinely cared about. I love basketball, so I started watching NBA games with English commentary, listening to basketball podcasts, reading basketball articles. Again, new vocabulary, but because I loved basketball, I was motivated to learn. Within 2 weeks, I understood everything. The terminology became natural. Then I did the same with technology. I love tech, so I watched MKBHD YouTube videos, read tech blogs, listened to tech podcasts. Again, new vocabulary, but because I cared about the topic, learning was effortless. Here's the key insight. You learn faster when you're interested.
If you force yourself to read boring textbooks about topics you don't care about, your brain fights you. But if you're watching something you'd watch anyway, just in English, learning happens automatically. I also started reading books, but not English textbooks, actual books. Started with young adult fiction, The Hunger Games, Divergent, Percy Jackson. These books are written for teenagers, simple vocabulary, fast-paced stories, easy to understand, but engaging enough that I wanted to keep reading. I'd read for 30 minutes before bed, just for fun, not to study, but I'd keep a notebook nearby. Whenever I saw a phrase I liked, I'd write it down. By month 6, I'd read 6 full books in English. That's thousands of sentences absorbed into my brain. Month 5 and 6 results, my vocabulary exploded. I could talk about specific topics in depth. My reading speed improved. I went from reading 50 words per minute to 150. And I started
dreaming in English. That's when you know it's becoming automatic. Your action for months 5 and 6? Find your interests. What do you love? Sports, music, cooking, gaming, fashion? Consume only that content in English. YouTube videos, podcasts, articles, books. You'll learn without it feeling like study. Month 7 and 8, I refined and tracked progress. By month 7, I was fluent. I could have full conversations, understand almost everything, express complex thoughts, but I wanted to sound even more natural, native-like. So I focused on 2 things, pronunciation and tracking. For pronunciation, I used an app called Elsa Speak. It's an AI that analyzes your speech, tells you exactly which sounds you're mispronouncing. Turns out I was saying TH wrong, and V, and W, and R. I spent 15 minutes daily practicing just those sounds. Recorded myself, compared to natives, adjusted, repeated. Also started shadowing. This is a technique where you repeat exactly what someone says immediately after they say it. I'd play a YouTube video, they'd say a sentence, I'd repeat it with the exact same rhythm and intonation. This trained my mouth muscles. English uses different mouth positions than my native language. For tracking progress, I did something simple but powerful. Every Sunday, I recorded myself speaking for 2 minutes on the same topic, my week. Then I'd listen to recordings from previous weeks. The improvement was incredible. Week 1, I was slow, lots of pauses, simple vocabulary. Week 32, I was fluent, natural rhythm, complex sentences. This tracking kept me motivated, because day to day, progress feels invisible, but week to week, it's obvious. I also took a practice TOEFL test at month 4 and month 8. Month 4, I scored 78. Month 8, I scored 103. 25-point increase in 4 months. Month 7 and 8 results, I sounded almost native. People stopped asking where I was from. I could understand fast speech, movies without subtitles, even regional accents. Your action for month 7 and 8, focus on fine-tuning. Work on specific pronunciation issues, practice shadowing daily, and track your progress weekly. Record yourself, take practice tests, measure improvement. You'll be amazed how far you've come. The complete system summary. Let me break down the entire 8-month system. Month 1, input only. Watch shows, listen to podcasts, build comprehension. Month 2, collect chunks. Write down native phrases, practice them daily. Month 3 and 4, speak every day. Language partners, conversation practice. Month 5 and 6, consume content you love. Read books, build advanced vocabulary. Month 7 and 8, refine pronunciation, track progress, fine-tune to native level. Total time investment? About 90 minutes daily. 30 minutes input, watching or listening. 30 minutes review, practicing chunks and vocabulary. 30 minutes output, speaking or writing. That's it. 90 minutes daily for 8 months. Not 8 hours, not expensive courses, just consistent, focused practice. The key is this: every day, no breaks, no excuses. Miss one day and your brain starts forgetting. Stay consistent and progress compounds. Final thoughts. 8 months ago, I couldn't order coffee. Today, I'm creating content in English, having deep conversations, even teaching others. You can do the same. You don't need to move to an English-speaking country. You don't need expensive tutors. You don't need some special talent. You need this system and consistency.
Start today. Month 1 begins now. Drop a comment. Tell me what month you're currently at in your English journey. If this helped, hit like. Subscribe for more language learning content. Thanks for watching. See you in the next one.